Hello, my name is Jane, and this is the 17th video in a series of interviews called Alumni Insights. In this video, I'll be talking to an alum from Vanderbilt University. I think this one turned out really great, and I hope all of you guys enjoy. There's a lot of great advice given, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright, well, let's begin. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm also doing good. So, first off, what was your major and graduation year from Vanderbilt?
Yeah, so I graduated in 2024, and I majored in biochemistry, and I minored in computer science.
Alright. Next, would you like to share a fun experience you had in college?
Yeah, so my, this, like, in 2023, during Halloween is a big thing at Vanderbilt, so a couple of my friends and I, we made our own costumes, dressed up as rock, paper, scissors, and, we went out to, like, a bunch of the parties and stuff. And even just random people on the streets were like, can we take a picture of you to show to our friends and stuff? And I mean, it was just a really fun night where, like, we got to just have a lot of fun, and, it was fun to work on the costumes as well. So, yeah.
That's a really creative costume. I hadn't really heard of that one before. That's cool. Next up, now getting into the more jargony questions. In what ways do the university's culture and values contribute to your overall learning experience? Can you share a specific example that shows this influence?
Yeah, so I think a lot of Vanderbilt's culture is kind of about collaborating with other people and, kind of just about fostering that sort of community. And I think that especially helped in terms of things like, even within, like, my major, in the, like, BCB department that we call it, we did, like, a lot of kind of events and stuff where we could kind of meet other people in the major, and it was a pretty, like, tight-knit group where, like, you kind of knew everyone else who was studying similar things to you. So then in classes, it was really easy to form those kind of study groups, or, if you were sick or you missed a day, it was pretty easy to kind of, like, text someone who you knew and be like, hey, what did I miss? And kind of, we just were able to support each other in that way, which was really nice.
Yeah, so like every classroom had like your own academic friend group inside of it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Next, given the rapidly changing job market, how well did your alma mater prepare you for the challenges and opportunities in your field? Are there specific skills or experiences you found particularly valuable?
So I think definitely in terms of, so in my field in biotech, I think Vanderbilt did a really good job because I think the lab courses in general all throughout the 4 years were very in-depth. So we got to do a lot of different things, kind of have experienced a lot of different techniques in the lab. And especially during my senior year, we were able to practice using a lot of different, like, machines you see in labs, like, mass spec, or, doing UV spectroscopy, using NMRs. So I think, having that kind of prior exposure to so many different methods and so many different machines has been really helpful kind of going into, like, the job market.
Yeah. Next, university environments often encourage innovation and creativity. Can you share a project or initiative you were involved in that allowed you to apply your knowledge in a practical and innovative way?
Yeah, so I think, sorry, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry, so I think kind of a project that I was especially involved in was with the Red Cross. Especially we were, obviously we did a lot of kind of those, like, typical blood drives, but something I really appreciated was how we were very creative with our advertising for those, and we were very creative with, getting the word out, and even, like, making the blood drives kind of themed events. Especially, I think my favorite ones were the ones we did around Halloween. We always kind of make it sort of vampire themed, so the space that we'd run the blood drive in, we've decorated with, like, a bunch of Halloween decorations with bats and, like, other kind of, like, vampire related things, and it kind of just made the experience, like, a little more of an entertaining thing than just, like, blood drive.
And like, were there lots of instances where you were allowed to take your own projects and clubs into your own hands and like shift the environment into whatever you wanted to?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunities to kind of, take projects and make them your own. And even in terms of like, I feel like it's fairly easy to even like start your own sort of like initial clubs and initiatives. Like another example of that is a couple, like some people I knew, they wanted to start an Indian classical dance organization on campus. So they reached out to me to help kind of starting that up and get on the board for that. And I mean, it was really amazing to be able to kind of organize all of that. And I feel like we got a lot of support from the staff on campus and getting all that together, like being able to, book rehearsal spaces and workshop spaces.
Yeah. And regarding the staff, did you always feel like they were available to you and were able to help you at any time?
I think for the most part, I mean, obviously, there's like, one or two people who sometimes were a little less responsive, but for the most part, I feel like, there's always kind of someone to help out, like, if you needed anything. It was really easy to find the resources you needed to get whatever projects you wanted to get done.
Yeah. That's great. Looking back, is there anything you wish you had known or done differently during your time at Vanderbilt to better prepare for your post-graduation endeavors?
I mean, I think looking back, I wish I maybe gotten involved in maybe with research a bit earlier. I mean, I think obviously my situation was a little complicated by entering right at when the pandemic started. So my first year was kind of entirely in my room, but I do wish I was able to kind of get into a research lab a bit faster and start getting some more of that like research experience and exploring the different like research that was going on campus, because there's a lot of fascinating stuff happening, even like with like student researchers.
Yeah, that's great. So, a lot of people may not know what research exactly entails in a university setting. Do you want to explain a couple of research projects that you had and what they had you do?
Yeah, so I think the primary like research project that I worked on in the lab that I was part of was the lab was developing a machine learning model. So basically what the model would do is you would feed it a genome sequence from like bacteria or something. It would go through and it would look at the clusters of genes that would then produce different like natural products, and then it would predict if it would be something that had antibiotic activity or anti-tumor activity. So we were kind of working on, teaching that model by taking different bacteria, analyzing the genome, and then taking the gene clusters that it predicted, and then synthesizing the products in the lab. So that was super fascinating. And then even kind of in within the biochem, like in classes, there was a bunch of projects related to things like like for mini projects, like take this random vial of something and try to figure out what it is, to like let's try experimenting with like actually taking like things like food, for example, and like determine the concentration of proteins in it.
Yeah, that's great. So, a lot of different research initiatives, and sounds like they're all super fun and creative. All right, well, thank you so much for your time. This was a wonderful interview. And have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.